Hey guys, what's up, Zyflin here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Octavia Umbral build. Yes, this is a re-upload because the previous version of this video that I made had a bunch of stutters and stuff, so, explaining it again and remaking the video is the type of thing that I do because video and all audio quality and all that good stuff. So yeah, Octavia Umbral build. Not necessary by any means, but Octavia is an insane frame, and I kind of wanted to push my build to the limit because, I really like my Octavia build. She's like my go-to semi-AFK talk to chat type of frame, so I can play the frame but then also like do something else in my other computer, or talk to someone. Like, it's just my let's pay half attention to the video game type of frame, right? So this is my Octavia Umbral build if you want to take a look at that first and foremost. And then I also have an Octavia song which makes playing Octavia, for me at least, a lot easier, which you can get if you message me in game by opening up your chat and doing /w space Iflin. Okay, if I could type my own name, IFLYNN, and then a space, and then hey, please link me your Octavia song, and then pressing enter, and then that'll send me a message, and then I will be able to link you the song by typing song, pressing this, and then choosing this, and then that's going to link you the song. So I just gave it to my clan chat there without meaning it, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, hi, clan chat. A little bit embarrassed, but that's besides the point. Yeah, so your what's it called? Your song on Octavia is, interesting name. Your song on Octavia is what makes the frame a little bit more difficult, or a lot easier to play, at least in my opinion, because if you have a song that has like a lot of notes in it, it's gonna be easier to hit your like invisibility and stuff like that. So this is a song that has a lot of beats in it, so if I were to just go ahead and spam my crouch, I can get my invisibility up pretty easy. Whereas if I were using a completely different song in my Manda chord, like let's say I was going to load the default song, right? If I were to, let's see, default, and then I go save and exit like this, and then I swap to a different frame. Okay, and then if I go back to Octavia like this, and then I cast my abilities, you'll notice that it's a lot harder for me to hit off my invisibility. I have to be kind of like hitting it on the beats, right? So I have to be crouching when these little lines come into my frame, I guess. So check this out. So let's see. If I just keep on spamming my crouch, see, it's a lot harder to get it off because you have to like be constantly hitting it, and then I eventually get it off. Where if you have a lot of beats coming in at the one time, you can just keep on hitting it off and off and off, and there you go, you have your invisibility, and you can get your other buffs out as well, because it's all about shooting in beat with, that stuff on the floor and whatnot like that to, give you your buffs and stuff, right? So I use one that just has a lot of notes in it. I don't know any other way to really give it to you guys without, like, getting you guys to message me in game and stuff like that, but, this is the Manda chord song right here. You can kind of try to copy it, I guess. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through it. So if anybody wants to copy it, by all means, go for it. But personally, I'm too lazy for that type of stuff. So, it is what it is. But, this is it split into the different abilities. So you see mallet, resonator, metronome. So how you have it set up in these different areas will determine how it kind of acts on each ability. And I'll demonstrate like what each ability does, kind of. So if you go ahead and take a read at them first. So mallet rhythmically beats damage into nearby enemies and draws their fire damage, or fire. It draws their fire. Good job, Flynn. Damage inflicted on the mallet increases its lethality. So that's your first ability. So this is the little ball that you throw out. And then what this does is going to get enemies to, shoot at it. And then it's going to deal more damage to those enemies, right? So obviously having a decent amount of range on there, making it last for a good amount of time, and having a higher base strength is going to make that deal a little bit more damage at base. And then obviously having the more range is going to make it affect more enemies. Having it last longer is going to make it so it can soak up more damage, and then you're dealing more damage over time, right? Which is awesome. Second ability is your Resonator. Launches a roller ball that charms foes to follow it. Combines with the mallet to create a moving ball of sonic destruction, right? So you combine your first ability and your second ability, and then enemies are going to run around and shoot at the little resonator that you throw out. So here's your one, and then here's your two. and then it picks up the little orb that you threw out, and then it rolls around, and enemies are going to start shooting at the little ball that your Resonator has picked up, and enemies are going to be mesmerized by this, and they're just going to chase it. So it's a CC ability, which has a decent amount of range, decent duration, and of course decent power strength as well, because of the nice balanced build that we have. And then the third ability, if we go ahead and take a look at that, is your grants buffs to those who consistently perform actions in time to Octavia's music. Time jumps offer the Vivint speed buff, crouching on the beat grants cloaking with the Nocturne buff, firing rhythmically bestows opera multi-shot buff, and time melee swings give the fort damage buff, which is awesome, right? So you're basically getting damage buffs if you shoot and beat with this. You're getting invisibility, you're getting movement speed buffs and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. And because we have this just spewing out beats everywhere, then we're constantly getting those buffs, as you can see in the top right hand corner. And then her fourth ability, which is Amp, draws power from the decibel level of sound in the area and use it to amplify a damage buff for Octavia and her allies. It also doubles the damage and range of nearby mallets. So if you use all of your abilities in conjunction with one another, you're going to be dealing a load of damage across the board, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see that puts together a really cool dance. You can go invisible, you have a CC effect going, which is also going to deal damage back at the enemies, and it's going to deal more damage as they shoot at it. You have an insanely powerful frame in your hands right here, right? So if we were to go ahead and remove all of our buffs by just swapping to Banshee, get all that stuff going away, and then take a look at the Umbral build again, which we have Umbral Vitality for our health, Umbral Intensify, Transient Fortitude, and Power Drift for power strength, Stretch for range, Prime Continuity, and Constitution for duration, Streamline for efficiency, Prime Flow for our energy, and then Corrosive Projection to remove 30% of the enemy's armor, so we deal more damage by shooting and stuff like that. Then we have a pretty balanced build with 156 duration, 130 efficiency, 145 range, and 218% power strength, leaning more towards that power strength so we can deal more damage in the long run. But it's important to note that you can pretty much build Octavia any way you want, right? You can have, more range, less strength with more duration or whatever, and then that'll be perfectly fine as well. Or you can have maybe a little bit of range, tiny bit of range, just base 100% or something, and then have more duration and more strength. That's totally up to you as well. But this is one of my favorite frames because you can literally kill an entire group of level 155 enemies just by standing still. And if you don't believe me, we're going to go ahead and we're going to demonstrate it, right? So we're going to, not make ourselves invincible. We're going to spawn in all of these heavy gunners right here. We're going to simulate them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit our third ability, go invisible, and then we're going to jump over here, use our 1, 2, 3, and 4 again, keep on crouching, and all these enemies are going to be shooting our little Resonator and Mallet here, and that's going to have its damage amplified by our fourth ability. And what you're going to notice is the damage just keeps on going up. So right now we're dealing about 1.6k, now we're at 2k, 2.2k, 2.5k, depending on the amount of enemies shooting at it, 4k, and all the enemies start to die because they just keep on reflecting this damage back at themselves by shooting at our little mallet right here. And I walked into the enemy line of fire, which is great. So you kind of get the gist of it. I was standing completely still, crouching, but let's just go ahead and demonstrate it again by standing completely still, I guess. So here we go. Simulate, get our energy, hit our free, go invisible, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Try not to. Okay. 2 derps per video this time. Okay. Invisible. 1, 2. Oh, not enough energy. 3 derps. Really showing off how good Octavia is right here. So you get the point. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and use our 1 again, I guess. So you can see that the enemies are going to start shooting at it. Not at me. Or we're just going to stand in this one spot and you're going to die, okay? We're eventually getting there. Eventually getting to the demonstration part that I wanted to demonstrate, I guess, if that makes any sense. I'm not messing up, but you get the point. They're all dead now. The only thing that you're really going to have to do is refresh your abilities, honestly. So I guess let's wait for the abilities to run out. We'll just force them off again by swapping frames. And what you'll notice is if I can not mess up, we could actually get it off by, you know, not moving. So let's try it at this time for real. So spawn in the 20, hit our third ability, go invisible. Okay, then we're gonna jump over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna move over this way, and then we're gonna stand still. And you'll notice that the enemies keep on shooting the ball, not at me. They're shooting the ball. I'm invisible. If they hit me, it's by accident, so I'm just gonna move over here. Okay, maybe you can't kill all of them without like moving because you know, they might accidentally shoot at you, but that's to be expected. And like I said, the only thing you're really gonna have to do is refresh your abilities and your invisibility, right? So just crouch a little bit, recast your abilities, and then yeah. So like if you wanted to make this deal more damage, mod for a little bit higher base strength, and then also you know, increase the duration of it as well. But you're gonna have to neglect like efficiency or range or something. Like you could probably neglect streamline in my build if you really wanted to for more duration. If you wanted to throw on like augur message or something, totally fine, or augur secrets, totally up to you. But you know, that's how you can get off a little bit more damage with your Octavia. But yeah, extremely insane frame just by standing still. Of course, it took me a few attempts to actually, like, you know, get to the demonstration point or part, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of like rambling at this point, but super insane frame, and that's not even using like a melee weapon to up our damage even more, right? So if we were to use a Zaw, for example, and do the exact same thing, except we are actually like damaging the enemies, I guess. So let's use, I don't know, the Corinth, because we also got the new Prime mod, Charged Shell, plus I have a really insane ribbon, which is damage puncture multi-shot for minus damage to corpus. You'll see that we deal insane amounts of damage, right? So, third ability, Invisibly, like so. 1, 2, 3, knock me over, 4, and then we can shoot them, and then we deal even more damage. If we melee them, shoot them, these guys die extremely quickly, because yeah, they're all dead, because you were shooting them and your thing was dealing scaling damage to them, which is awesome. So that's your Octavia Umbra, or Umbral Octavia build. You don't necessarily have to have an Umbral Octavia build like this. You can use a regular Octavia build like this and get pretty much the exact same results, except with less player strength, so a little bit less base damage to begin with, but the exact same results. So yeah, Octavia is pretty insane. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.